Well, good evening, everybody, and happy Wednesday. We are back from Michigan and from our trip to go pick up our new Allwood splitter. We got a couple of people in here. We'll wait and see who else pops on here. But I wanted to get on here and do a live tonight because I don't know what we're going to have for videos the next couple of days. It is extremely cold outside, and the splitters are not really all that fond of the cold, and neither am I. So we're gonna go ahead and just see what we can get going and make it happen. Timon, how you doing, buddy? Carl Lewis, the man with the plan, is in here. Good to see you guys. Derek, hey, how's it going, buddy? Just wanted to hop on here tonight and basically just kind of give a little rundown of our trip and a synopsis of my first thoughts on the new machine and what we have going forward and what might be happening going forward. Old guy Firewood, Dick's here. How you doing, Dick? So first things first, the first machine that we tried out while we were out there was the Birch series, and the Birch series is already getting redesigned, and that is why I love Allwood so much. Bobby, the owner, saw somebody say that it looked like a cheap knockoff of another brand splitter, so he went back to the CAD program and he went and drew it all up again and shrunk it down, so now it looks just like the other big brothers in the Allwood log splitter family, and it's going to look just like a mini Musclewood with that resplit table on it. So that's going to be a great machine. The sales for those things have been crazy, to say the least. I knew they were going to be popular. I didn't know they were going to be that popular. Our pre-sale for the first 10 units, that was over a long time ago. So now we're into regular price. We've also added an upgraded 20-ton cylinder. So instead of the standard 17-ton, we have a 20-ton option as well. That 20-ton makes it a great entry-level splitter. We call it a resplit machine, but I think you saw the videos we did out there with Heath and Rachel at Hardworking Man. There wasn't anything that we could put on it that we couldn't get it to split. So really, really nice machine. Russell's Firewood, good evening. Good to see you. Vision is scary. How are you doing? Up in the Northwoods, I am glad that I am home too. That is a lot of windshield time for sure. I got lost in Washington, D.C. The GPS either sent me the wrong way or I didn't understand what the GPS wanted. So I took an hour and 30-minute detour in Washington, D.C. before I got back on the freeway and headed home. So that was interesting, to say the least. But one of the things I wanted to talk about here was, what are we going to do going forward? The log splitter sales and everything is getting busy, and it's consuming a little more and more time every day, and I like that. I like to be busy. Anybody that knows me knows that I like to be busy. And when it's 22 below in the morning, like it was this morning, that's an excellent thing to do, is answer emails and give some people calls back and try to sell some splitters rather than go out and tarp over the splitter with a salamander and pound the ice off of everything. So we'll get going there, and we'll see what we got. We got some firewood to do tomorrow for sure. Derek says we should give Kevin a raise. Kevin actually got a raise today. Kevin lost the brake line on his truck. He has the Tundra, so I gave him the Tundra. I told him, I said, hey, I take that, go to work. I said, and just when you get up in the morning, come over here. That'll give everything a chance to warm up a little bit, and we can go ahead and get going. So good evening, Brian. Shotlift Family Firewood here. That's good to see you guys here as well. Brian, when you get a minute, can you send me an email? I've got some questions about your little kiln that you built, and I think I want to build one a little bit bigger, but I'm interested in your temperature controls that you use because I want to make sure that I get it certified for the heat treating. So if you get a minute, just shoot me an email with your contact number. I'd like to pick your brain and ask you some questions if I can. Pay you for your time if need be. Oh, Kevin's here. He said, thank you, buddy. I thought you were supposed to be working, Kevin. You see, this is what I got to deal with. So I think what we're going to do going forward, I know there's all kinds of guys on here that have regular lives, but I want to do a live on Wednesday and a live on Sunday. I'm not really an off-topic type of guy, and I don't like to get really random. So what I like to do is stick to firewood and log splitters and anything firewood related. So if you guys are okay with that, I think Wednesdays and Sundays we're going to do that. With the exception of February 1st, mark your calendars. We're going to have Gramp and Kevin here, 8 a.m. Eastern time, and we're gonna see if we can get Gramp to speak just a little bit and do just one live stream. He's a lot more on board with the whole YouTube thing, especially after our write-up that we got in the local paper. I did a video on that, and he was pretty proud. He brought it right over to my grandmother before he even had a chance to finish reading it and let her read that, and I think he really enjoyed that, and I was kind of glad to see that. They did a good write-up, and it just so happened to work out perfect that we went over to give him the copy in the newspaper, and he was wearing a Willie's Firewood shirt, so that was awesome. Vision is Scary says that we need to feed Kevin extra portions for K-Train training. We need to get some K-Train shirts made up, and I'm gonna contact the gentleman that bought our Allwood log splitter, and I'm gonna work with them because I like supporting local business if we can, and we'll see what we can come up with for some Kevin Club T-shirts, and we'll get those up for sale when we get them. But Kevin is awesome. I couldn't do what I do without Kevin. He kept the roadside racks full until he ran out of wood, and they're empty again. So we've got to do a lot of splitting, get caught up. And that's okay because that new Musclewood definitely is a fast machine. It's not going to take us long to get caught up. But let me give you guys a little recap of my trip in case you didn't see it and you didn't see the videos or any of my posts. We took off and went to Michigan to Allwood Log Splitters. We went out and chatted with Bobby a little bit. And one of these Wednesdays or Sundays, we are going to have Bobby on with us, and he's going to do a question and answer with us. So if anybody has any questions as far as building or what we can build or how we build it, why we build it, hydraulic questions, any of that stuff, Bobby will be here to answer all of that. We're going to be doing some extra trade shows this year. So we're already signed up for the International Firewood Expo. That's the first weekend in May 2nd and 3rd. And we're also signed up for the Bunyan Show. That, of course, is in October. And I think there was talk of Boonville. And I will also be at the Northeast Firewood Expo and Forestry Expo in Bangor. So we'll have some machines up there as well. My whole goal is to have 4 or 5 or 6 machines here in my woodyard that are demo machines, that if somebody is interested, wanting to buy a machine, they can come up, put their hands on them, run them, try them, see what they want, see what they like, and if you want it, I'll give you a deal on the demo that's in the yard, or we'll call Bobby up and we'll order you a brand new one. But I just think it's really important that people get to put their hands on the machines, try them out, and get to do all of that stuff before they just purchase a machine. These are expensive machines, and there's nothing worse than buying something, getting it, and thinking, that's not what I wanted. Lake Ontario Firewood, you're an hour from Boonville. I'd love to meet you as well too, buddy. I like meeting everybody from the YouTube community. Everybody's a great group, and it's just really fun to get a group of like-minded people together. So from Allwood, we went to Heath and Rachel's, Hardworking Man. You may have seen an interesting thumbnail with me in my suspenders and no shirt, and that was Heath's idea, and man was it cold. But that video is getting some pretty good traction for them, so I'd like to think that I have a little hand in that, but I think they're probably just there for Rachel. We did a bunch of videos up there, and we got a bunch of content put out. We did a bunch of testing with the new machines. That new Birch series is great, and we had the 2 Musclewoods. I can't tell you guys how incredibly fast that Musclewood is. That Musclewood is just incredible. It's so fast that you almost think you're running a kinetic, but that kinetic has 25 ton of split pressure. I've only seen it drop into the 2nd stage one time, and that was a big piece of sweet gum. Other than that, didn't matter knots or anything. Josh Leach, Janice said she'll make the shirts for the K-Train. That's good. I will give you a call and we'll figure out something. I'm just trying to figure out what we want to do. I've got a gentleman in North Carolina, in Greenville, North Carolina. He has a split force, self-propelled single splitter, and he's looking to sell that. And he's looking to move it at a pretty good price. So if anybody's looking for a split force, self-propelled vertical splitter, shoot me an email or leave me a message and I'll get back to you. I always have a notepad when I'm here doing these lives. If anybody has a question or anything like that and I can't get you an answer right now, I will write it down and we will make sure that we get it taken care of. Brandon Hode, that picture, I'll tell you right now, there was a whole lot of white guy in that picture, that's for sure. And then Rachel in that fur coat in between didn't help much with the contrast. I think we blended right in with the snow pretty good other than my suspenders. PA Trapper, yeah, 9-minute cord, but I can promise you right now I can go faster than that, and we're gonna go faster than that. That was the first time really running the splitter and trying to figure out what was going on. I've got a pretty good inclination that I can go a fair amount faster than that. And we have something else coming that's gonna help us go even faster without doing anything to speed up the machine. I've got a couple tricks up my sleeve, so we'll be doing that one again for sure. Derek stuff, I don't know if that was clickbait or not. It was cold is what it was. But if it gets the views for them, then that's great. I don't do the clickbait on my channel. We just go to work. Yeah, Bill Breton, that 1222 is a great machine, but we've got some Allwood options, and it doesn't have to be the Musclewood. We've got a few options that would be comparable and or faster than that 1222. So if that's something you want to do, go ahead and give me a shout. PA Trapper has a Built-Right 13 Super that he's trying to sell for an Allwood. Send me an email, PA Trapper, and I will gladly list it. We can put it on our used machines section, and we'll see if we can get those moved. So if you are interested in an Allwood, we can try to help that. There has to be a delivery table, John. Well, John, we're gonna do something different than a delivery table because this is why I love working with Allwood. We have a handful of things coming that nobody's seen yet that are gonna make it a whole lot faster. And a table would work, but I don't know, I like being different. So you're gonna have to just check it out and we'll see what it happens. Remember to like this live, guys. We got 62 people in here but only 13 likes, so go ahead and hit that like. That helps to push it out there so that other people know that we're live and they can come in and contribute if they want. So from Hardworking Mans, I took a trip that was supposed to be 9 hours to North Carolina that turned into 14 and a half. And I drove through a snowstorm that shut highways down in portions of Tennessee, which rerouted me through West Virginia, which I don't know if any of you all have ever driven through West Virginia, but it's mountains, and when it's all snow like that, it's no fun whatsoever. I had a slow ride, and we made it to North Carolina, had a quick little nap, and then we had a big group of guys at Foothills Firewood with Britt, and we went down there, and we did some splitting, and ran the Musclewood. I can't believe how quick it is to just go and excuse me, to just go and make bundle grade wood. So we take and make chunks, like 3-inch wide chunks. So if I've got a big round, I'll bust it down into short square slabs, and then we take those slabs and we just make the bundle wood out of them. It's as quick or quicker than a kinetic splitter when that machine's warmed up, and it's absolutely crazy. We were making 1/3 of a cord of bundle wood in totes, perfect bundle wood, in 15 minutes. I had 3 or 4 guys running, just trying to be able to keep up with the single wedge, let alone running a 6-way or anything like that. So the Musclewood is absolutely incredible speed-wise, and it's going to make a big help for our wood yard here. It was just what I was looking for what Kevin and I do, and can't wait to go. Now I'm going to scroll back just a little bit because I saw PA Trapper. Yeah, I saw your message, and had I not gone to North Carolina, I would have went back up through PA because Shibe wanted me to stop in, and there were some other stops I would have liked to have made. That's not the only machine we're bringing back to Maine. So when we go get more machines or more things, we will definitely swing through. And if you're interested in checking out one of these Allwoods, we'll swing in so that you can do that for sure. And like I said, we're gonna go to the shows, and I'm gonna try to get the demo unit set up here in the yard. So we can have a place for everybody to try these things out. So if you guys ever get up to Maine, or if you're really serious and you want to put hands on before you go see Bobby in Michigan and put your payment down on one, go ahead and come on up and we'll let you split some firewood for free, because I like it when people split my firewood for free. It doesn't happen very often, but I'll take what I can get and get you a chance to run those. So that's kind of the trip. From North Carolina, I went from one end of North Carolina in Clemens to the other end of North Carolina in Greenville. And we met with another gentleman over there, and he checked the machine out. He's the one with the split force that he's trying to sell, because he's sold on the Allwood product now too. I knew 3 or 4 years ago when I purchased my first Allwood that these were a great product. And Bobby has gone head and shoulders above what he sold me the first time. This new machine was way beyond what my expectations were, and the performance of the machine alone speaks multitudes of what he's building. But just the simple fact of fit and finish, all the little things that he added that I wasn't necessarily aware that he was going to do, it's definitely a really, really nice machine. And I got a feeling you're going to see a whole lot more of these Allwoods around. And because of that, I'm going to let you guys know, if you are looking for a machine, we're getting very busy with these Birch series machines. If you're wanting a bigger machine like a Musclewood, a Locust, or a Bloodwood, put a deposit in if you're serious to hold a build time, so that you don't get behind a whole bunch of these Birch series machines, because these Birch series machines are coming in like crazy. So if you're serious, call me, let's chat, let's talk, and let's figure out how we get your deposit in there so that we can lock a delivery time down for you, because I have a feeling that lead times are going to go up. We are getting very, very busy very, very quick. I had somebody, they were looking for, let's see here. Yeah, Dick, next time I'm in North Carolina, hopefully it's for more than just a drive-through. I had more hours driving than I did working or making videos with anybody for the whole trip, and I'd really like to have a little bit slower trip so that I can spend some time with some people, and you would be one that I would love to stop and see for sure. So next time we do that, we'll figure it out. Lake Ontario Firewood, we've got affordable options for Allwood machines. That Birch series is $8,000 and it comes fully loaded. Log lift, auto cycle, hydraulic adjustable wedge, Honda engine, torsion axle, tow it down the interstate 65, 70 miles an hour. Excellent, excellent entry-level commercial machine. Living the Dream says, did you come through West Virginia on 64? I don't know how I came through West Virginia. It was pitch black and snowing and I was following the GPS. But I do know that I went about a 110-mile stretch and there was not a single gas station open anywhere, and I was running on fumes. So I was very happy to finally get a gas station that was open. If you went to Greenville from Birch, you went by my place. Well, Dick, I didn't know where you were, and I toyed with the idea of not going to Greenville because they had the snowstorm coming and I wanted to make sure I got out. And it was a quick trip for sure. I stopped, we ran the machine for a little bit, we got breakfast, met Jason Williams, really great guy, and he's sold on the Allwood machines already. That's why his is up for sale. But it's I'll definitely make it down there to see you at some point. Love to stop by and split some wood for you for free and let you check out whatever I've got for an Allwood machine in tow. Brandon Hode asked why they don't ship them into me. I like going out to the factory to see what he's building, Brandon. Bobby's always got something tucked in the corner or something that he's building somewhere, and it definitely is good to go out and check and see what he's got going on, because sometimes he won't tell you. And if you see it, you can maybe encourage his behaviors or what he's got going on, because honestly, some of his ideas that he has are really, really great. That resplit table that he added on my machine, man, oh man, that is a fantastic addition. When you guys watch my channel, you'll see it. So on my side where I run the handles, Kevin's on the other side with the log lift. That resplit table lets me put my resplits. I have a spot to put them now so they're not in the way of the regular firewood that's going to the conveyor. And that's gonna be a huge time saver for sure. Yeah, Old Guy Firewood says that vertical is very interesting. That vertical is a monster machine. And when Bobby said he's not giving all the details away, all I can say is if he does what he wants to, it will be a splitter like nobody else has ever seen before, because he's got some awesome ideas, and I really, really hope he can get them to come to fruition. But that thing is going to be available in so many different configurations and types. It's going to be crazy. We're going to start with Honda gas engines, go to 38 horse Kohlers, and from the Kohler go right and jump way up to a 60 horse Isuzu diesel. Cycle times, anything from mild to wild, just like my muscle would, but that guillotine blade with those 7 knives on the backside and being able to change the spacing and change that blade out, you can go from making boiler wood to making bundle wood with that guillotine blade, and I think it's going to be a fantastic machine. Yadkin Valley, if that was the one that Britt was talking about, I am going to try to get down there. I have to be cognizant of snow. I put myself in a bad position. I've got a bunch of driveways that I plow, and I had to have somebody cover them for me while I was gone. And I don't like doing that. I like to take care of all of my customers myself. We got them done. I'm going out tomorrow, now that I'm caught up on sleep and everything, to just go and double check everything myself, make sure that they're all set, make sure everything got cleaned up the way I want. I don't like leaving when there's snow, and I don't like leaving when there's a chance of snow, because it puts me in a bad spot. Down East Trees and Firewood family need to trade the split force in. There's a lot of people looking to trade split forces and Easton Maids and Wolf Ridge and Timberwolf and all that stuff. It's not that Allwood is any better than anybody else. It's that Bobby is putting in the work right now to make the product stand out, and the product is doing everything itself once it's built, because you don't have to say how great it is. When that machine starts and runs, you know exactly what you got, and it's an absolute monster. Yeah, Big Chevy says he works in a box store and he'll never look at splitters the same. They look sad compared to those rigs. A box store splitter is just that. It's made for a homeowner. It's not made for a commercial application. So any of these commercial splitter manufacturers are way ahead of what a box store splitter would be for sure. And then you start getting into some of the guys that are really pushing the envelope and trying to get forward ahead of everybody else, and it's incredible. That's what is the best thing for the consumers and for somebody like me. So as long as somebody else is going and trying to one-up us or get ahead of us, it gives Bobby a drive to go ahead and build a machine that I can then bring back to people and say, okay, well, this person did this, but look what we did. And, you know, we can show the advancements, we can show the improvement. The addition of the laser for Allwood is excellent. There's no stickers on the machine, but now everything is laser cut right into the machine for the labels, the branding of the machine. And that green and black, that's going to be the Allwood color, the green and black. And speaking of green and black, with the Birch series, it comes as white. And any of our splitters, if they are black or green, there is no upcharge for the color. Black and green are standard colors that are powder coated every day, so you can get any machine in black or green with no upcharge. But the green with the black trim is going to be the Allwood colors from here on out. Vision and Scary wants to know if they have an electric motor option. We talked about it a little bit a couple of times. I don't know if we're gonna end up going with an electric motor option or not. And there's a couple of reasons for that. With the horsepower that we're running for gas and diesel engines and the hydraulic portion, the electric motors would be quite large. And it's a small market for that right now. Bobby's the type of guy that if somebody wants it, he'll build it. So if somebody's got a checkbook and they're writing a check, Bobby will probably find a way to make it work for them. And that's one of the great things about Allwood is custom builds are just that. They're custom builds, and he likes doing that stuff. So I won't say no. It's always an option, I suppose. Let's see. Victor says, hard to pull the trigger on new machine for the part-time guy. I do like 608's machine. Yeah, they're expensive, Vic. They really are. But the time savings you get out of a commercial processor or commercial firewood splitter are huge. So to be able to do that in a quarter of the time is a big time saver. I know the folks that bought my old Allwood, they had a homemade splitter, and they went from the homemade splitter to the Allwood, and they went from hour-long totes of firewood in the IBCs to 15 minutes. So when you start looking at the time savings, it makes a big difference. Hey, Ted and Sherry, how you doing, guys? Good to see you. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, that green is my favorite too, Big Chevy, for sure. Mobile processor like a Wallenstein. Well, I got a feeling that if Bobby ever builds a processor, it's going to be an animal, for one, and for two, it's probably not going to be small like a Wallenstein. Bobby doesn't build anything small. The vertical splitter should be perfectly evident that he doesn't like to build anything small. So we're kind of in that area of big and how big you need. I don't think you'll ever see anything small. That's why I was really surprised at the Birch series, but the Birch series isn't small either. We tried moving it by hand, Heath and I, and you can't move it. It's heavy. There's a lot of steel there still. Down East Trees and Firewood. Have to be honest, the Split Force has been a great machine and had a Brute Force 2024 splitter. You showed me, the splitter you showed me is on another level of size, build, and speed. Yeah. The Allwood splitters are, we're not raising the bar, we're setting the bar, and people are gonna have to climb to it. And once they get there, I think there's still more room for improvement even at that. So the Allwood machines, for me, it makes it really easy for me to sell them. All I gotta do is say, hey, watch this video, or hey, come watch this thing run. When people see what's going on, it's like, holy smokes. Everybody, the first thing out of their mouth when they see it fully warmed up and they see that cycle is, wow. And that's, they just stand there and look at it and they shake their head and they're like, that thing is crazy. And it is. It's really fast. It's really quick. I really enjoy it, but it's going to take some getting used to for sure. The speed that thing travels, when you hit those handles, you get out of the way. You don't put anything in harm's way. You keep your hands in your pockets or out of the way, whatever you need to do. But the Musclewood is a complete game changer. Now the Locust series is equivalent to what I had before, like the old Musclewood. And the Locust series is, you know, that's running a 4.5 second cycle time with auto cycle, which I say that with a kind of a scrunched up face, but 4.5 seconds is fast still, really fast. So that's an awesome machine. And that you're getting into that for about $3,000 or $4,000 less than the Musclewood, so that's an even better option and still get you into a nice commercial splitter. So yeah, there's definitely options. Vic, that Birch series is great, and we ran the 17-ton version at Hardworking Man's. We couldn't find anything that wouldn't split, so you can buy a 20-ton option. It's a $300 or $400 upgrade to get some extra tonnage. Do you need it? I don't know for sure, but we were really impressed with it. That's a really stout little machine and fairly quick too. I think it was a 6-second cycle. So much faster than a boxwood store for sure. I got somebody else here. What's this? Lake Ontario Firewood. Your justification is going to come from your time savings. If you're using a box store splitter or anything like that right now, your time savings that you will pick up from a commercial splitter of any make or manufacturer is going to be where you're going to justify your cost for sure. PA Trapper wants to know what the beam height is on the Birch once it's redesigned. I know we were running the Birch and it wasn't too bad, but I think it's going to be right about the same height as what my Musclewood is, and that's about 32 inch, maybe a little bit taller than that even, depending on where you sit the machine. But that's the one thing I like about the Allwood machines. I'm 6'2", 6'3", somewhere in there, and I do not have to bend over, so it's really nice. Why does the rod of the cylinder look black instead of chrome? It's the material that the cylinder is made out of. The rod is made out of a different material. I asked the same question. Heath's is silver, mine is that black color. I'm not concerned about it. If Bobby says it's good, I'm happy with it too. So, Allwood is located in Petersburg, Michigan. It's about 2 hours into Michigan when you come out of Ohio. Yeah, speed is key in Firewood, Yadkin Valley to a point. And then you got to figure in safety. Safety is probably the biggest thing that you need to watch for in Firewood. Firewood is dangerous, so we need to make sure that we're always trying to be safe. Haunted Hills Hayride, what's the timing and availability? So the machine that is in the video that I posted yesterday is up for grabs right now. We're not sure how that one's gonna be configured. I guess that's gonna depend on who takes it, but we'd like to have somebody that does a fair amount of firewood, so that we can kind of vet out some of the options and use that machine to help us with the next ones that we build. So we're gonna be kind of selective on who gets the first one, because we wanna make sure that we can get it somewhere that, one, we can support whoever has it, either myself or Bobby, and two, that they're gonna do enough firewood so that they can give us the feedback that we need to make sure what we've got going one way or the other. Len's keeping busy. Hey, how you doing, buddy? I gotta get you my address or something so that you can send those pictures to me so I can hang one in the office. We wanna get some of those nice wood stacks up there. Robert Luce wants to know, does he have financing? I do not believe so. If you have a bank or a credit union that you deal with now, you can certainly get financing. If you have a business already, it's just a capital expense. So you can go and get a loan at your local credit union or bank for the business and go from there. I am going to look into doing financing on my end for the dealership portion that I'm doing, and we'll go from there. Mrs. Willie, they saw you in the background. Somebody's saying hello.
Hello.
Yeah, vision is scary. The small box store splitters are definitely less than desirable, but they get the job done for sure. Yeah, they all saw you over there. They're all looking at you now.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, hi.
So, just to kind of recap, the Birch series are really picking up. The lead times are going to increase as those Birch series orders start getting built. So if you want a bigger machine, you need to get your deposit in now so that we can lock a build time in for you so you don't get stuck behind everybody else. You don't have to pay for the whole machine, but if you pay your deposit, that will get you a build spot marked so that you're not waiting too long to get your machine, because it's not going to be long and the spring rush is going to be on and everybody's going to be ready to make firewood. So if you're in the market and you need to do something, we need to get your deposit quicker than later so that we can get everything going. Yeah, Little Griff, I have a conveyor, and we're going to be getting a different conveyor. The conveyor I have is a homemade version of an Allwood American conveyor, which is a different manufacturer. It's not Allwood splitters, but the conveyor that we're going to get is going to be an Allwood conveyor, because I want to be able to have the conveyors that I'm selling. I use what I sell and I sell what I use, and that's the way it will always be with me. And I'm not going to use something that I won't sell. If you see me using something in the wood yard, it's something that I would be proud to sell. If you see something and it doesn't have a long-term stay here and you see it's not here very long anymore, that's probably because I didn't like it, and you're not going to hear me talk about it a whole lot. But if I like something, I'll use it, and if I'm using it and I continue to use it, I would sell it too. Yeah, Kevin has seen it. He came today and all he said was holy. He kept looking at it. He goes, holy. He goes, that's big. He goes, I saw the video. He goes, that was fast. Oh, so Jimbo says that you don't have to have a bearskin coat like Rachel has on Hardworking Man to join us. You can come join us anytime you want.
Okay, well, I appreciate that.
She's over there doing her crafting. She needs time to unwind, and she does diamond dots and things like that for some unwind and relax time. So she's over there taking care of that stuff. Yeah, so Vic, the first show that we're going to have is May 2nd and 3rd in Ohio. And that's going to be the International Firewood Expo, down with Joe from Ohio Woodburner. Hey, Sunken Grave, how's it going, buddy? Tom from Tom's Firewood, good evening, buddy. Good to see you. Robert Cox, the splitters ship either on a tractor trailer or you can pick them up, or if you really want to see me, I can go pick it up and bring it to you. It all depends on how you want it and how quick you have to have it. So, but yeah, either by tractor trailer or delivered behind in my truck, or you can go pick it right up at the Allwood factory. Yeah, Tom Black, Kevin did say, yeah, he looked at it and he said, yeah, he goes, wow. He goes, that's big. I said, yeah, he tried picking the wedge up and moving the wedge, and he said, it's a good thing a cylinder does that. He said, because he said that that's heavy. I said, yeah, I know it's heavy. I moved it a couple times. So I said, it is. There isn't anything on these machines that are light. They are very, very heavy machines for sure. And they definitely are built to last for sure. Wicked Mana, how you doing, bud? Good to see you. See, I can have that Wicked Maine accent just like Phil and Karen have down there. I just try to hide it a little bit. Little Pecker Homestead. Well, good evening from Idaho. I like that name. That made me giggle. I like that. So that's what we've got going. I mean, we're getting busy with the splitter stuff. I've got a lot of things going. I'm going to kind of do a bigger in-depth dive into the log splitters, how they work, how they operate, why we do what we do. There are some other manufacturers that do a really good job of diving into that. I'm not so much concerned about the specs and what we're using. Anything that's been put on these machines I know is made to last. Bobby really likes to overbuild everything that he builds, so I'm not concerned at all with having anything as far as it not holding up. But I want to be able to show you guys why I use things the way I do, where we put things, where we operate from, how we operate, where we put our wood, how we sort everything out. It's all those little things that from my years of doing firewood, I don't just sell these things. I do firewood full-time for a living. And by doing firewood full-time for a living, I have these things that I've figured out that work. And if it works for me, I want to be able to show you guys so that hopefully that'll help you too. So we're going to do a lot more in-depth stuff with that to show how that works. Little Griff, yes, a splitter bit me in the past right there, my pinky. That was about 3 years ago. I had a block of wood that had ice on both ends, and when it came under pressure in the block, it snapped up at my face, so I put my hand up to block it, and it slapped my hand down off the wedge. And that was all it took. Pinky gone. So it happens quick. I'd like to tell you it was just because I wasn't paying attention and I deserved what I got, but I was trying to protect the moneymaker and I lost my favorite booger picker. So it's just one of those things. It happens quick. Larry Terrell, I didn't see you in here. Good evening. Skeeter Camps, nice to see you. Will the Birch fit in a full-size pickup truck for shipping? Yep, you can put it right in the back of a pickup or you can tow it. It's built on a suspended axle. So it has a torsion axle. Just like my Musclewood, I towed my Musclewood 75 miles an hour from Michigan to North Carolina to Maine, and no issues whatsoever. It was an uneventful trip, which I expected, and it worked out great. Hearthaven Firewood, David Peckham, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. I see you guys are getting busy with your totes of firewood down there. That's awesome. It's always good to see that things are picking up and that things are moving. Yeah, Robert Daigle, I really like Little Griff's videos. I've always had an affinity for the off-grid lifestyle and being out in the middle of nowhere like that. And I just, every time I watch them, I find myself watching those videos a lot longer than I watch anything else, just because I like the whole concept of being out off-grid, self-sustaining, doing that kind of thing. It's just something that's always kind of been really, really cool for me. I enjoy those types of things. Larry Terrell, I did just over 3,000 miles from Friday until now. And many, many, many stops at the gas station because the Tundra is not fuel efficient by any means, but that's okay. It did the job. It got us where we needed to go. It kept us safe in the snow, and it's just really, really great. It's funny watching two men with splitting mauls and one has OCD prices. Well, I was always taught that if you're going to do something, do it right. So I find myself spending a little extra time to get things done. And then there are other people that just want to go. We could have went faster for sure. And looking back, I could have, but I didn't feel like pushing the envelope too hard. But it's one of those deals where it was a for fun video. And when we got back and looking at it, I think we cheated. We had some comments, and Rachel was concerned in the video that we cheated, and I have to agree with Rachel. I think we did cheat. We went and staged all of our logs before we started splitting, and I don't think we should have done that. Yes, I will be here tomorrow morning, Robert. So if you want to give me a call in the morning, I'll be kicking around. You're more than welcome to swing on up. So I will be here. Vision is scary. That's awesome. Do you have a YouTube channel? Because if you do, I'd spend more time watching all your stuff now too. Yes, Len, I'm going to be doing weekly live streams twice a week. I'm not as fancy as everybody else. You're not going to get a whole lot of fun stuff here, but Wednesday nights and Sunday nights, we're going to do live streams. So Wednesday, I'm going to kind of dedicate that one to the wood splitters and the equipment and just firewood process related stuff. Sunday is going to be kind of like a weekly recap of what we did, what we've got coming next week, and all of that stuff. Living the dream. No, you can't beat a Tundra. You can't beat a Toyota pickup, period, let alone a Tundra. The thing is absolutely bulletproof. I beat the crap out of it, and it's awesome. Oh, good night, Victor. Glad you're stopping by. Appreciate it very much. Jimbo, I am compensated in ways that you can't imagine. So let me tell you why the YouTube community is so great. I took a trip and went from Maine to Michigan, and I did not stay in one hotel room while I was gone. I did not buy one meal until I was actually on my way home from North Carolina. I didn't pay for anything. I had people that were volunteering for me to come stay with them, that were volunteering for me to eat with them, to do things with them. It's really, really, really awesome how the YouTube community pulls together. And, you know, that's one of the things about the Woodhound community in general is that everybody is really good and takes care of each other. Yeah, David Peckham, put the videos up, buddy. Be consistent with it and just keep posting. So that's the whole thing, is being consistent for sure. Bill Breton, what is the price of your splitter? So my splitter, the way it sits, is $19,750. That is picked up out of Michigan. And honestly, if you don't need the fastest thing that's produced, you can go to a Locust series, which is the same tonnage, auto cycle, same features, just a slower cycle time. So your 4.5 second cycle, you can pick one of those up for $16,500. So you're gonna save yourself about $3,000. And honestly, it's a fantastic machine. So if you don't need the biggest and baddest thing out there, that Locust series is something to definitely look into for sure. Well, Lake Ontario Firewood, if I can get set up for in-house financing, I think that'll help a lot as well. And that's one of the things that I'm going to look into. I've had a couple of people tell me about a couple different places that we can inquire to be able to get in-house financing for people. And I'm all about, you know, helping somebody out, because I know these things are expensive for some guys. And I know when I bought my first commercial one, it was a huge jump. I thought I was crazy to be spending, I think at the time it was $15,000 on a log splitter, and I was like, man, what am I doing? And they did a video a while back on Hardworking Man's channel on how much money a commercial wood splitter makes. I've split over $800,000 worth of firewood with that wood splitter. So I guess for the $15,000 investment, not a bad deal at all. Yeah, exactly. David Peckham, you're 100% right. We are all in this to help each other out and to do this together. That's the name of the game for sure. Yeah, 3 Green Acres Farm, the bar has been set very high. The fit and finish, design, look, overall feel of these machines, they're big, they're tough, they're bad, they're fast. They're really, really, really nice machines. Yeah, Bill Britton, you're absolutely welcome, my friend. That's the whole thing. If any of you guys are looking for a splitter, don't assume that you've got to have the biggest and baddest thing out there. Give me a talk and let me know what it is that you're looking to do, how many cord a year you're doing, what kind of wood you're getting. There's probably a better fit than just going and buying the greatest, biggest, baddest thing out there. I mean, it's great to have that, don't get me wrong, but if you can save yourself a bunch of money and still make your job easier, that's what I'm about. I want to make your job easier for you, and I want to get you into a machine that you can grow with, and it gives you grow, and then we can get you into a bigger machine once you start growing. But don't put to begin with. Larry and Robin, hello. Larry, how are you feeling? I saw you were back out in a video there the other day. That was good to see. I hope you're feeling better. Hope things are getting better for you. We don't take trades right now, David, but with me being a dealer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get a website put up, and any of you guys have machines that you want to sell, I will advertise them on my webpage in addition to anywhere else you have them, and we can go ahead and try to get those sold for you. Lake Ontario, that's exactly right. If your hobby can make you more money in less time, that's a win-win for sure. The trees ate my last 2 cameras. Yeah, vision is scary. I've tripods are what we chew up more than anything else. 515 Homestead, how you doing? How's the subscriber content going? I know you guys were just getting started. You picking up a bunch of subscribers? Yadkin Valley, I paid a lot for my 28C, but it's a beast. Yeah, I mean, there are some commercial log splitter manufacturers out there that make really nice equipment. And there are machines that if I was not running Allwood, there are a few machines that I would run myself without any question whatsoever. And, you know, the whole thing for me is I want something that when I go out and I go to work, I don't have to worry about. One of the nicest things that I like about the Allwood machines are there are no grease fittings. So it cuts down on my maintenance. There's no consumable wear parts to change on the push plates or anything like that. It's an easier machine maintenance wise. And for me doing this full time, if it saves me time with my maintenance, that's a big help for me as well. 515, I stayed at under 50 for a long time, and I was getting discouraged. I was like, this is not working. And then I had one video for whatever reason that took off, and from there it was all history. So just keep plugging away. You'll get your niche, and as long as you're consistent and stay posting consistently, it'll keep cranking. Andrew Fitchett, how much does a cord of split wood cost there delivered? So greenwood right now is $325 a cord. Seasoned is $375 a cord. And if I can get in touch with Brian Shotliff and get a kiln set up, we'll have some kiln dried wood, but that's going to be for small amounts. We're not going to be delivering cords of that. That's going to be for our bags and bundles. Miller Stumps and Firewood, you're at 874 subscribers. Well, if you guys aren't subscribed yet to Miller Stumps and Firewood, go check them out. Ted and Sherry, they do a lot of stump grinding. They've got a Dyna processor. They do some splitting. They like their Husqvarna chainsaws. Go ahead and check them out. And if you haven't done so yet, subscribe. We'll see if we can get them up over 1,000 and go from there. Let's see. Carl Lewis said, I had to do a coin toss on what equipment I need. Won't say what wins. I will put it out on a video. All right, Carl. Can't wait to see what you get, that's for sure. PA Trapper, yeah. There's not many of us Allwood guys on YouTube, and there's not many guys that post a lot of videos with their Allwoods on YouTube. I'm gonna try really hard to get some better working content of this new muscle wood, just so that everybody can see what's going on. These machines are a redesigned machine. They're really big, they're really powerful, and there's a lot of things to watch out for. I've noticed that we will not be running these machines ever without safety glasses. I got a scratch on my nose that you can't see on the camera, but a knot came out of a piece of wood when we were at Heath and Rachel's and smacked me in the nose when we were doing our timed cord challenge, and I thought that I was bleeding, but didn't end up bleeding. It was just sore. But you gotta really respect these machines. These machines don't care that you're there, not one bit. Yeah, David Peckham, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to dry like a cord to a cord and a half at a time, just for my bundles and bags, to try to stay caught up with that and get going. Hey, Miller's Firewood, you got another sub right there. Big boy Chevy got you. That's awesome. Nice, appreciate that. So it's one of those things. Kiln dried has been something that I have thought about for a long time. I've done firewood for quite a while, and if a commercial kiln wasn't so expensive, I would have jumped all over it by now. I've kind of rolled back and forth, and I've gone bigger and I've gone smaller, and right now we're kind of in a happy spot for where the business sits, and I like where we're at, but I know there's room for growth too. Rather than go and charge after the bulk firewood market while we're using saws and splitters, I'm going to go after the bagged market where the extra money and profit is. What do we need a distributor in Southern New England for, David Peckham? Oh, Victor's here. I thought you were leaving. Well, Victor's going to go check you guys out too, Millers. So you get a couple more anyway. There's 2 other channels besides myself and Hardworking Man that do Allwood videos, but there's not many of them. So it's definitely a small number of us out there for sure. Skeeter's Camp's got you too, Miller's Firewood. We're cranking you right along, buddy. We're doing good. Birch, I'll tell you right now, that green monster is awesome. I ran it down to Foothills Firewood with Britt down in North Carolina, North Carolina, and we ran some sweet gum and some hickory and a bunch of other stuff. They were the harder woods for them to split, or the stringier woods. It only kicked into the second stage once. The thing just eats wood. It's crazy, and that's only a 25 ton. Heath and Rachel have the 30-ton option of it, and it's crazy, crazy, crazy fast. Vision is scary. And using it that way. I just want to make sure I got my temperature controls, my recording in there, that we can say that we're USDA certified, and I can do the heat treated and have my documentation for sure. David Peckham, as far as a distributor in Southern New England, I think Bobby has said right now he's going to stay with the one dealer for the time being. Bobby wants to try to stay small, keep quality at the level that it's at, and he does not want to get huge. He wants to build quality machines at a reasonable price and a decent pace. So I don't think you'll see many more Allwood dealers, if any, coming out. But if I ever decide to give mine up, I'll let you guys fight for it. I saw that with iDry, and they keep messaging me, Dick. I had inquired about their vacuum kiln setup at one point, and I'm intrigued by it, but at the same point in time, somebody said that iDry was fairly expensive too, so I'm not sure how exactly that'll work, but there's multiple ways of doing the kilns, and I'm looking for something small. Tim, Neighborly Homestead, how you doing, buddy? Good evening, good to see you. Skeeter Camps, I'm sorry that you didn't get to see it either. If you saw it and you were in the market for it, you'd buy one guaranteed. Everybody that was in the market for it that saw it, they have either put a deposit or they are going to put a deposit, waiting to sell their machine one way or the other. It's been an excellently received machine for sure. And even though Heath and Rachel have that red, white, and blue with the American flag, that thing is sharp. I'll tell you, I like the green and black. That green and black really stands out, although right now it's kind of like white. It's just covered in road salt. That thing has chewed so much salt from the time I left Michigan to get back to Maine and running through the snow that, oh man, it needs a bath, but it's too cold. So I can't really clean it right now because it's too cold, but man, 24-inch stroke on the Musclewood is 3 seconds or less. So still stupid fast. But yeah, I went with a 20-inch stroke because I don't do any longwood anymore. Everything we do is 16-inch or smaller, so I wanted to make it just as tight as possible in that split chamber so that we can just crank and go. Yeah, Fairweather Lane, there is going to be a lot of equipment down there in Ohio. That show that Joe has going on is growing leaps and bounds. I can't wait to see what he's got going on down there. Joe does an excellent job down there with that, and always well received. James Yoakum, if you need an Allwood, you just got to reach out to me. We can figure something out, and we'll see if there's an Allwood that fits for you. You wouldn't be disappointed, that's for sure. No matter what you're using it for, they've got a machine for everything. Denny Hart, good evening, and appreciate you stopping by, and we'll see you on the next one. Yeah, vision is scary. I've got the same thing here. It's a little disappointing, but it is what it is. It's wintertime in Maine. Brad 6, he's talked about it. I don't know if he'll be heading that route or not anytime soon, but there has been talk in previous conversations of it. So I don't know if there will be an Allwood processor or not. Yeah, Josh Leach, the hydraulic tanks where I started putting stickers, so there's some on there. I gotta clean the office out, and I gotta get the office out. That's where we'll do our live streams from now on, is in the new office, and we'll put the blade up and start getting the stickers on the blade and go there and get that done. Haunted Hills Hayride, the price for the Allwood vertical is gonna start at about $27,000. And go up from there. The $27,000 is going to be gas engine, single operator station. So by single operator station, that means that you can use one station or the other, but not both at the same time. And then the price will go up from there depending on hydraulic capacities, cycle times, engine size, and all the other plethora of options that are going to be offered with it. It's going to go from a GX 630 Honda all the way up to a 60-horse Isuzu diesel. So pricing is going to be widely varied depending on what you want for options. Yeah, vision is scary. It's going to stay cold. I'm going to have to put the tank heater on the Allwood first thing in the morning and let it sit there for a couple hours, warm up the fluid so I can get it started, because I've got to split wood tomorrow. I put it off today because it was too cold. I didn't want to do it with it 20 below, but we're going to give it a go tomorrow, see what happens. It'll take a while for it to run and warm up. That Easton Made Evo looks pretty good, Brad. I haven't seen a whole lot of it. It looks to be, I know I saw the 16-way wedge running on the splitter today, and I like that. That looked like it was making some pretty good sized bundle wood. I think to put perspective which way, commercial splitter or processor depends on what you're most comfortable with in your wood yard. And it also depends on how much wood you're doing a year. I think once you get 300-400 cord plus, you really need to start looking at a processor. You don't want to be crazy like me and try doing all this wood without a processor, but I got Gramp, so having Gramp on my side is a definite advantage. And besides Gramp, I got Kevin too, so great. Little Griff, I appreciate you stopping by. Enjoy your supper, and I'll catch up on your videos at some point now that I'm back. I use a magnetic tank heater, Fairweather Lane. When it's below zero, all I do is I put it on the bottom of the tank by the suction line for the pump, and I'm not looking to warm the whole tank up. I'm just looking to warm enough fluid to get it moving. And then once we get the fluid moving, it'll warm up on its own. I leave it kind of down at an idle and go from there and let it warm up. I got mine at Tractor Supply. I think it was, I don't know, 80 bucks. It does the job. If I leave that out there for a while, and then if that's still not enough, then you dig the canvas tank and the torpedo out, and you let it run for half an hour, and you just kind of warm everything up a little bit. And once it's running, don't shut it off. Leave it idling or whatever you need to do. Brandon, you're still working on getting that corn in, huh, buddy? Yeah, old guy Firewood. With that new vertical splitter, if you have the dual station unit and you can use both stations, if you had one guy busting up the big rounds into quarters so that you can use the guillotine just to do your finished splitting, and you use that in conjunction, that thing will crank out a lot of firewood. A lot of firewood. I'm excited to see it work. I wish that I was a little more prepared and ready. I'd like to have one of the bigger options up here. But I want to get the regular horizontal splitters in first and get some of that stuff going, and a couple of conveyors and things like that for people to look at and see. But we will have a vertical up here in this yard at some point. Yeah, side work that pays better is always good, Brandon, and it gives us a little break from what we normally do. Sometimes our normal everyday thing gets a little mundane for sure. I know even though I got these cool log splitters, sometimes doing firewood every day gets a little old, and it's nice to do something different. Yeah, I'm going to be doing the same thing, Brandon. I signed up for a sexton job at a local cemetery next town up from where we are, but they don't do burials in the winter. Once the ground's frozen, that's it. They got to wait until spring. But yeah, I did that when I worked for the town, for the local municipality too. I did burials and stuff for the cemetery as well. So I get that. No videos of the vertical yet. They're going to be hooking up the hydraulics on it very shortly. They're waiting on some more components to finish hooking the hydraulics up, but it had been sitting there for a while, so we wanted to put the teaser video out, get everybody in the know that there is an Allwood version coming, and that it's big, and that it's bad, and that it's going to be awesome. So we're gonna really go from there. Hey, Dick, have a good night. Appreciate you stopping by, buddy. We will see you on the next one. So it's the vertical is going to be different because it's different than what everybody else has. But once everybody sees how that guillotine blade works and sees how productive that is, I think that you're going to see other people want to try to follow suit and copy that. It's going to be a very efficient way to process bigger rounds, and it's going to make a lot of firewood in a hurry, and consistent firewood at that. So does anybody else have any more questions? I said I'd try to keep this to an hour, and we're at about an hour and 3 minutes now. I don't want to keep everybody too long. I know it's the middle of the week. Everybody's got work and things they need to do. But if there's any more questions, I can certainly answer those right off quick, and then we'll probably call this a night, and we will see you guys all on Sunday. And Ted, you're very welcome, buddy. That's what this is all about. If any of you guys feel like you're stuck and your channel's not growing, give me a shout out on here. I'll shout you out. We'll see if we can pick you up a few. I'm a small channel. I'm not a great big channel by any means, but I will help out if I can, for sure. Haunted Hills Hayride, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for stopping by. Rebecca Robinson, how you doing? We are just getting ready to wrap things up, I believe, but I appreciate you stopping by. Just so that you know, Wednesdays and Sundays at 8 p.m. we will be doing all of this stuff all over again. Wednesdays are going to be equipment and splitters. Sunday is going to be how the week went and what we're doing next week. So Carl Lewis, man with a plan. If you haven't gone and checked out his channel, go ahead and check out Carl Lewis and see if we can get him some more subscribers as well. It's all important that we all grow together. As we grow, if we stay together and stick together, if we win, everyone wins. So that's a good thing. But all right, guys, that's going to be it for me tonight. I appreciate you all, and we will see you on Sunday. And what's this? Hang on, I'm not done yet. I feel like we're kind of stuck. Got to get back to Firewood videos again soon. Neighborly Homestead, it's one of those things that with the algorithm, the YouTube algorithms want to see the same things and they want to see consistency. So once you kind of get put into your niche and figure out where everything is going, keep consistent with it. Try to be consistent. If you're going to post on Tuesday every week, post on Tuesday every week. If you're going to post on Sunday, make sure you post Sunday every week. But just get consistent and stay consistent with when you post, and that's going to make one of the biggest differences on how your videos are received when you put them out, because people are going to get used to watching for that. Well, everybody's saying goodbye to Mrs. Willie too, so they're saying goodbye to you, darling, and maybe we'll get her to come see us on Sunday. We'll see. But yeah, definitely, Tim, go ahead and keep posting consistent. Make sure you use your hashtags in your descriptions as well. You know, if it's maple syrup related, hashtag maple syrup, hashtag firewood. Use your hashtags so that when people are searching for those words, it's going to pop up and your video will pop up. So make sure you try to pay attention to that stuff as you go as well. Goodbye, William Klein. The prices for the new vertical splitter are not posted yet. As soon as the hydraulic systems are completely finished, they will be posted. If you look on the Allwood website, there is a pricing page, and that pricing page has everything listed as far as what our standard configurations are going to be. And as soon as the pricing is ready, those will be put up there. And as soon as I know that the pricing is ready, I will let you guys know as well. But if you are interested in one of those vertical splitters, the one that's being built is up for grabs right now, and we're willing to work some sort of a little bit of a deal on that one so that you can do some R&D and product testing for us. We're going to be selective with where it goes. We want to make sure it goes to a firewood producer that's going to use it a lot, because we want it to get used a lot. We want to make sure that it's going to be okay and that it's going to hold up. So if that's one of you guys and you're interested in that, shoot me an email, shoot me a message, and we will see what we can do about getting you some information and some pricing on it. So with that, guys, I am going to call it a night, and we will see you guys all tomorrow. You will probably see some videos of the new musclewood splitter in action tomorrow. I'm going to run it with a single wedge, and you're all kind of looking funny, and I know you're thinking funny, but I'm going to show you why that single wedge is so important. So make sure you check out our next video. We'll see you guys later on.